What's going on, guys? Welcome to Open Your Minds with the Junior, where this is another take in our Christian talk where we're going to talk about straddling the fence. Now, I'm pretty sure many of us have heard this phrase before, where many our friends or someone in our close circle told us about straddling the fence, or an elder or someone older told us about, or something we've heard in our churches when when we hear our preachers and they say something about straddling the fence. But some people don't know exactly what that means. And so, just to give a definition for it, straddling the fence is when you know and understand God's principles and statutes, but choose to not fully commit to it. Now, this can be shown in many different ways. One way could be maybe you see something in the Bible that you know to be true, but you decide, well, you know what? I just don't see myself doing that. It's like a clear example could be choosing to not commit to one of the 10 commandments. Like you say, you'll follow thou shalt not kill, but you won't follow thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. As if to say, yeah, I don't want to kill nobody, but I don't care about sleeping with another man's wife or sleeping with another woman's husband. Or, just to give an example. So, straddling the fence, again, is deciding or knowing about God's word and his principles and choosing to not fully commit. Most of us don't realize that that's actually giving the devil place in our lives. I'm reminded of this video that I watched the other day about this guy was giving an illustration about a man who was walking on this fence. Of course, on one side you got God, Jesus, and all of the angels on one side, and then on the other side you have the enemy and the demons and his evil spirits. So the guy continues to walk on this fence, and he's looking on both sides, and he's just not fully committed to either side. He's looking at one side and he's like, okay, this looks good, everything looks good, but you know what? Now the women don't look that attractive. But on this side, the women look real good over here, but they got these evil looks on their faces. I just can't get sold on either side. So eventually on one side, God and his angels and his army, they end up leaving. And then on the other side, you have the enemy and his people, and they get ready to leave. But then the enemy turns back around and he says, oh yeah, you right there that's on that fence, come with me. And the guy's like, but I didn't choose your side. But then the enemy is like, yeah, but that fence is mine. So it just blew my mind when I heard that, because that's exactly the place where the devil wants us to be. He wants us in a place where we question God and we question his principles. We question what he set out for our lives, to the point where we're just not completely sold to him. And because we're not completely sold, we can't truly fulfill our godly purpose. So we're at a point where we're just going to stay on this fence. Like, I love God. I care about him. I know what he's about. I believe in him and I have faith in him, but I just can't fully commit to what he wants me to do, because I'm having fun on this side. Like, I'm learning things on this side. People are actually not judgmental on this side. They're not making me feel like I'm a bad person. They're not talking about the way that I dress. Like, these people accept what I like to wear or what I want to do. But on this side, everybody's got something to say, and it just get on my nerves. So, that's another reason why some people stay straddling on the fence. But we just have to be mindful and careful when we decide that we're going to be Christians and we're going to follow God's word. We have to be careful about straddling that fence, because we open ourselves up to be strayed to the devil's side. So just a quick few scriptures that we can use to bring light to this is, you got James 1, chapter 1, verses 6 through 8. We have Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. We have Revelation chapter 3, verses 15 through 16. And then you have Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. Now, many of these scriptures, like James 1, 6 through 8, it tells us about how you have to be careful about being double-minded. And you don't want to have You don't want to be double-minded when it comes to God. If it comes to serving him and loving him, because if you on one side you're believing and having faith, but then on the other side you have trust issues, you feel like you just don't want to give up being angry, you don't want to give up being upset, you don't want to give up constantly treating people a certain way because of how you feel, or you choose not to forgive somebody, or you choose that you're going to be upset at them for something they did for you against you 20 years ago, and you're going to continue to harbor that. That's a way of straddling the fence. So you have to be mindful of being double-minded and holding on to the enemy's principles while trying to serve on God's side. And then, Matthew 6:24, it tells us about how we need to not serve two masters. So if you're going to serve two masters, as if, and it points out in the Bible that serving two masters, you're going to love one, but you're going to, you're either going to love one and you're going to hate the other, or you're going to love the other and you're going to hate the first one. So you have to be mindful and careful of that. Then also, you have Revelations 3:15 through 16 that clearly outlines how God feels about you being straddling the fence, being lukewarm. You're either going to be hot for him or you're going to be cold for him. If you're lukewarm, he spits you out. It's just plain as simple as that. He has no use for someone that he can't trust because you are not sure of whether or not you want to follow him or not, or you are not sure that you want to be a representation, or you're going to be a part of God's kingdom. So you have to be mindful and careful of that. Then Matthew 6:33 just sums it all the way up. Like, we have many reasons why we decide that we're going to straddle the fence. It's because we feel like we can't get fulfilled on God's side, or we feel like we can't have the fun that we want to have on God's side. We feel like we're going to be judgmental just like everybody else. We feel like that we're not going to be fulfilled, or we're not willing to trust because we can't see exactly what God is doing in our lives, or we get these heartaches and pains, or people just turn their backs on us because we are following God, or that we're trusting in him and having faith in him to lead us on the path of righteousness. And because we're so unsure, because we don't get the results that we're looking for, we're not completely sure that committing to this is going to get us what we need, we straddle that fence. But he continues to tell us that you seek me first, and everything you need, I'm gonna provide it for you. Anything that you need from me, I'll give it to you. You want that wife that's gonna take care of you and your children, I give it to you, but you gotta seek me first. You want to get that job where you're serving me and my people, I'm gonna give it to you. You just got to seek me first. So we have to be mindful of that when it comes to straddling the fence. So if you like this video, like, share, come to the comment section if there's any advice that you would need, or any advice that you would like to give to others concerning straddling the fence. You're welcome to come to the comment section. And again, I just want to tell you guys, I love you guys. God bless you all. And let's continue to open our minds together.